I'm going to show you how to make the most delicious chicken, wrapped in puff pastry, stuffed with mushrooms, the most delicious cream sauce. This is an absolute classic. It's from one of my old cookbooks, Happy Days of the Naked Chef, and this was one of the recipes that people went crazy for. Let me show you how to make it for 4. First up, we're going to do the stuffing, a beautiful mushroom stuffing. So we'll get this onto a medium-high heat. We'll go in with some olive oil, a couple of tablespoons goes in. I'm going to get 2 cloves of garlic, finely sliced. Now, we want to celebrate mushrooms, whether they're mixed, button mushrooms, wild mushrooms, porcini, ceps, it doesn't matter, right? They're all going to be delicious, okay? So look, let's have a look at the mushrooms. Standard stuff, you can break it up. I'm going to chop these up later anyway, so don't worry about this. So as that oil heats up, I don't want it too hot, I'll put this in. I don't want aggressive heat on the oil. I want lovely perfume flavor. I don't want to get the bitterness that you can get from when you get it too golden and brown. Break up the mushrooms. So 250 of mushrooms goes in. I've just turned it up now to a higher heat. Mushrooms are quite a high percentage of water. And what I want to do is start off by frying. I'll get a little bit of seasoning happening as well, salt and pepper. Now, there's a little twist in the method. We're going to put a little lid over the top just for a second, and we're going to drag out that water. So we're going to fry, boil, and then we'll take the lid off, and then we'll fry again. That way, you are going to get the deepest, most delicious tasting mushrooms. That stuffing is going to blow your mind. So now, by the lid coming off, we're going to cook that water away, right, back to frying. So, over here with the lovely parsley, I'm going to take the stalks, and I'll finely slice those. And then on the leaves, which I'm getting to now, I'm going to go slightly chunkier, and chunkier, and chunkier, and chunkier. And I'm almost thinking of it like spinach, irony and fresh. So the stalk part can go in now, like that. Beautiful color, wastes nothing. And you can see we're cooking away that water, and it won't be long before we're frying again. The smell, amazing. I put the stalk in a little bit earlier than the leaves because they're very delicate and the stalk is more fibrous. But that little extra kind of minute or 2 will just make it a dream. It will make it delicious. And look, you can see the water's gone now. Listen, we're frying again. So, in we go now with the parsley. We can give it a nice little toss around. If you wanted to be geeky, right, and really get into it, you won't believe me, but 4 drips of lemon juice makes the difference. It's like magic, right? Heat off, and these mushrooms are going to be delicious. Now, as it's a stuffing, I'm going to put this onto the board. Really autumnal, deep, dark, and beautiful. So get that all in there. I'll keep this pan for later. You could leave it chunky, but I want it to be a little bit finer. So just use that cross-chopping method to chop up the stuffing to your liking. Also, we're going to stuff this chicken, and it can't be hot, right? It has to cool down. So now, when we've got it a nice fine texture, if you put that across the board, nice and fine, like that, that'll cool down really quickly. Okay, lovely stuffing. I'll put that to one side, have a little clean down. Now, let me show you how to stuff the chicken. It's not tricky, it's straightforward, but it feels and looks quite chefy, right? Which I think you'll like, but I promise you it's really, really simple. And I've got a few little tricks and hacks for you. The first one is, don't ever bother making puff pastry, it's really hard. At home, never, right? Don't get the big blocks that you have to roll out, it's just another job. Get the pre-rolled ones like that. It's nice and easy. They've done all the hard work for you. Just roll it out like that. Get yourself a little knife, and very simply, we're going to go in the middle first, all the way through, and then into quarters. So you have 4 bands of puff pastry. Now, puff pastry is laminated. It's layers of butter and your pastry. So when it cooks, that happens, right? Crunchiness, texture, soaks up sauce, chicken juices. It's going to be amazing, right? So we'll put that to one side. Get yourself a nice tray like that. We'll get a little dish. We just need 1 egg to go into here for egg wash. This will make it really golden and delightful. I'm using greaseproof paper because at Christmas you do not want any risk. And I'll double be sure by a little oil that I'll just rub into it as well. So we're really sure that nothing's gonna stick at all. Okay, so now what we have to do is get that stuffing, that mushroom, into that chicken and wrapped with that pastry. We're gonna take a chicken breast, so there's no bone, no skin. We're gonna take this beautiful chicken breast, we're gonna flip it onto its back. Here's the chicken breast like that, flap it open, and in here you have the potential for a stuffing. So we're gonna get the tip of the knife and gently, carefully, ease that, not quite to the end. And we're just, in slow movements, just make, it doesn't matter how you do it, it doesn't matter if your knife skills are good or bad, just be gentle. And then what you do is create like a little pocket here. And in there, you can stuff, you know, all kinds of wonderful things. Once you've stuffed that in there, then you can literally flap it back over and cover it. And I'll do that to all 4 of these. Find the thick part, tip in, make that little pouch, get your thumb in there, flap it back, you're good to go, right? So look, now what we're gonna do is stuff this beautiful chicken. So to do that, I'm gonna take a piece of our lovely pastry. You can kind of stretch it a little bit. Just let the weight of it just stretch like that, naturally. We'll put the chicken at the end, like this, and we'll take, let's use a spoon. Take some of that lovely stuffing. It's nice and cool now. We can kind of hug it and see how nice and dense that is. So thumb in, make sure the hole's big enough, right? Ram it in there. We'll then use this flap of the fillet here to go over, right? Then what we do is we take this pastry and we just roll it, right? If it splits and tears, don't worry, like just kind of patch it up, but it will be wonderful and it will be rustic. And as that cooks, it's gonna cook up and out. Let's do another one. You get better always as you go in. Here we go, stuffing, take that fillet to cover it up again, and then we're gonna roll, keeping it as tight as you can. Beautiful. Okay, so now we're gonna egg wash these. Now, that was a fun, simple preparation. This will now go into the oven at 200 degrees Celsius for about 30, 35 minutes until the pastry is golden and gorgeous and delicious and all that lovely stuff. Okay, so that's in the oven. Okay, chickeny hands, there's nothing wrong with it, okay? This is normal cooking, normal preparation. Please don't be scared. Of course, you don't want to go around touching everything in the kitchen, which I haven't. I've used my elbow to open and close the oven. Now I have a nice little clean down, right? And then I'll show you what to do next. And it's gonna be absolutely delicious. Okay, so here they are. They look lovely. It smells amazing. I just love this dish. So that was just under 35 minutes. Look at the color, really, really nice. So like cooking or roasting any kind of roasting joint, I'm gonna let the chicken rest a little bit, just for a couple of minutes. So I'll put them onto a nice board. Imagine this at the dinner table, right? I'm gonna show you now probably one of the simplest sauces that you can do. It's really, really fast. So I'm gonna put a gas hob on. It's a beautiful, simple mustard sauce that you can use with meat, you can use it with fish, even roasted veggies. It's really, really nice. So heat that up, add a little bit of oil to a pan. We're gonna fry some lovely whole grain mustard. About a heaped tablespoon goes in. So as it starts to sizzle like that, just move it around. I'm gonna put in a nice little splash of white wine. So half a glass goes in, and then we wanna kind of reduce it by half to cook away the alcohol. So it's gonna be light, it's gonna be fresh, it's gonna be mustardy. When this is kind of reduced by half, then I'm gonna go in with the cream. So you wanna go in with about 150 mils of gorgeous double cream. We'll bring it to the boil. We'll season it with some salt and pepper. So you can see already it looks like a really nice sauce. What I'm gonna do is take this chicken breast and do 2 cuts at a slight angle if you like, right? So the first one, go in like that. Look at that, beautiful cross section, utterly gorgeous. Then we go equally down the other way and we've got the same, right? We can see how beautifully cooked the chicken is. That sauce over there is just coming to a little boil. And we're just going to divide that simple sauce across the plate. Really easy. Look at that. A little bit of the cranberry sauce on the side. You know, a little bit of olive oil. Just give it a little kiss around here. You know, with some lovely steamed greens, you know, some lovely mashed potato. That is going to be an absolute thing of joy. Look at that. Easy to serve. Let's try. Indulgent, rich, exciting. That mushroom just always brings it down to sort of like a deep, humming deliciousness. And the white wine does the opposite with the mustard. It's light and fragrant, and it feels like you've gone to a restaurant, but this you can do in your own home. Absolutely delicious. So what are you waiting for? Get the recipe, get shopping, get cooking, enjoy. I'm going to share with you the most delicious homemade falafel recipe. It's quick, it's easy, it's full of flavour and texture, and to go with that, I'm going to give you a whole bunch of different sauces, pickles and garnishes that make it exceptional, but most importantly, you can use each and every one of these recipes in so many different ways in your own cooking. So, let's get going. Let's start off with a food processor. I've got 2 tins of chickpeas. Open the tin, and we're going to get rid of the water, like that, in a sink. So go in with your drained chickpeas. Then plain flour, 1 tablespoon. Harissa paste, 1 tablespoon goes in. 1 teaspoon of allspice. A generous pinch of salt and pepper goes in. So I've got 1 regular bunch of coriander here. I'm going to take the stalks that a lot of people waste. We ain't wasting them, right? They've been washed, they go in. That's going to give it a sweetness and a beautiful perfume. I've got a nice lemon that I've washed, and just give the skin, just the yellow part, a little rub like that. And I want these falafels to be like light, but full of attitude. So lid on, give it a little pulse. Get a little spatula and go around the rim. You can see that ball going around the side now, so it's telling you that it's actually a really good kind of patty-like consistency. This ball here, I'll roll into about 16 little patties, so I want to get them golden and crisp, and I want to bring out the flavour in all those spices. Falafels are an ultimate, really nutritious and really affordable street food. Roughly chop these into 16-ish, roughly the same size patties. If you get a little bowl of water, they help keep the patties or meatballs nice and smooth instead of kind of breaking. So just wet your hands like this, like that, and then we'll just roll it into a nice little patty like that and just press it down about 2 inches in diameter. I'm going to put it onto a medium heat, and I want a nice lug of olive oil, and I'll lay that falafel straight into there like that. Bit of water. So roll it first, pat it next. It's as simple as that. Roll it, pat it, lay it. We'll keep them small so we can manage this. You'll make filling for 4 generous pitters. So while those falafels cook for about 3 minutes on each side, I've got them on a medium-low heat. I'm not rushing them. I want to show you different expressions of dips, garnishes, and sauces. First up, beautiful organic yogurt. I'm going to take this other half of the coriander and just finely chop it. You could use a pestle and mortar if you want. Beautiful. So I'll take a bit of garlic. I'll go back to this grater here, and I'll just grate half a garlic, like that. And that will be more than enough to make it pungent and delicious. We'll take a little pepper here. We'll take the coriander and the garlic here. The lemon that I took the zest from. So what I don't want this to be is boring. Okay, so first sauce is done. So I've got a standard red cabbage, white cabbage, it doesn't matter. I'll use a little speed peeler, and you'll just get the most wonderful pickle of red cabbage. Lovely antioxidants, super healthy, but most importantly, utterly delicious. Pinch of sea salt, red wine vinegar, white wine vinegar. Get a little splurge of that in there. Just use your hand. So scrunch, scrunch. I'm going to take a nice little handful there. Joy, joy, joy. All right? Let's check this. Just going to make sure we're taking care of things. Now, look, this is looking pretty good. Look at this, beautiful. Yes, smells amazing. Here's a quickie, and it's a funny, fruity little number. Tahini, a nice couple of spoons goes in. I'll show you a little funky, crazy thing. If I put lemon juice in that to make a little tahini sauce, delicious by the way, it affects the tahini and makes it go super hard. It's getting thicker and thicker and thicker. So from a flavour point of view, delicious, especially with a little pinch of salt, right, to convince it that it's savoury. If it goes too thick, just add a little bit of hot water and you can thin it down until it's nice and spoonable, and that's what we want. And if you want to give that a little hit of chili, you can. Tahini sauce, done. A really quick little number that I love is taking some chilies and just finely slicing them, and a little swig of vinegar and a little salt. Chilies go in. What I'm thinking here is texture, flavour, like sprinkles, garnishes. So last but not least, I want to show you a very quick cucumber and mint salad. Use any cucumbers you can get your hands on. These are the lovely small ones, which I love. Get a fork and scratch that cucumber like that. This allows seasoning and dressings to get in there. And all I do is put the 3 cucumbers together, slice it up, mix it up into your bowl, and then I just grab the stalks like that, twist it off, just the leaves, finely slice this, and I'll just dress it like a salad. I'm gonna leave it quite chunky. Vinegar, but then the same amount of olive oil, so it's dressed but still tangy. Use the tips of your finger to dress this salad. So look, let's have a quick wipe down, and these will be ready. So in the 6 minutes it's taken to cook these lovely falafels, right? We've done beautiful, simple salads, sauces, pickles, little garnishes, sprinkles. Love that. One last thing that you can do if you've got a gas hob is just reheat your pittas. You can put them in the toaster, you can put them in the oven, you can have it cold, but I quite like putting them onto a little gas hob like this. Just take care of it. Get a little set of tongs like this and just have a little eye on it like that. Turn it over and we'll just toast them up. Get them nice and warm, fluffy on the inside and a little bit sort of crispy on the outside. Okay, so pittas are toasted. Falafels are done. Come and have a look. Look how lovely and sizzly they are. Gorgeous. Okay, let's do one. So I'm gonna get the knife in, open up the lovely pitta. You can fully open it. I'm gonna go in first with that lovely yogurt with the mint. We're gonna go in with a few cucumbers in and around the edge. I'm trying to create like the perfect mouthful. And then a little bit of that lovely pickle. Look at the colours. Yes! Look at that. There's one. Sizzling away. And then another, mate. Then we'll take that lovely sauce. Come on, Eileen, look at that. Just go OTT. We've got the mint leaves here. Be bold, be big. The chilies. And you've got that nice hot pitta. A little bit of oil on top. And then straight on top. Look, I mean, just look at that. That is a picture. Put this on top, and then you put the weight of your body on it. Push it down. I might just cut it in half, just so you can see what's going on in this story. That's what's going on. Gorgeous, decadent. That is full of flavour, full of life, full of nutrition. So guys, if you want the full recipe, and all the shopping lists, simply go to jamieoliver.com, where we've got thousands and thousands of recipes and we're always updating it for free with love from me to you. Take care. Hi everyone, so I am here today to give you another Can It Canapé. Yes. Can, a lovely dish that we all know and love, canapé. First up, what is a canapé? It's a French word for a little something, a little kind of delicious bite, something that gets the lunch or the evening going, something to have with a drink. So it's a kind of cool thing, it's kind of party food, we like that. The dish that my team have given me is the Great British Roast. And this time, it's gonna be roast lamb. So I do have some leftover roast lamb here. And I also have a little trick, a little ingredient that I buy every single week, that I use every single week, and it's really helpful for making delicious things like canapes. So here I've got some leftover roast lamb. I've got some gravy here as well. I'm going to take some of this out. This is about 500 grams of leftover roast lamb. You could use any meat. If you had any veggies, potatoes, carrots, peas, you could put that in the mix as well. So we're going to go with the gravy and mint. Mint sauce with roast lamb is an absolute classic. I'm just going to run my knife through the lamb just to break it up like that and put this into a bowl. So we'll go in with some salt and pepper, and then we're going to go in with a little bit of the mint here, and let's just take off the leaves. The stalks here you can use for making lovely mint tea. Mint and roast lamb for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years are best friends. So mint goes in. I'm going to use a little gravy just to dress it up and make it just a little moist. Mix that around. So here is the little trick. Phyllo pastry. It is a really delicate, fine pastry. And it comes in plastic because the minute you take it out, it will start to dry. So what we have to do as the cook is take a clean cloth and get it wet. You don't want the phyllo pastry to get dry because then it will be brittle and it will crack and it won't behave very well. So I have this in the fridge every single week. At the very least, buy a pack and put it in the freezer and it defrosts very quickly. So we're going to take it like that and we're going to cover it, and that way it won't go dry. So I'm just going to take that to one side. I'm going to just take this phyllo pastry like that. I'm going to slice it in half on a clean surface, and then I'm going to take a little bit of our lamb here and just stuff it. So just bring in the sides and just roll it up like that. Once you've rolled it up, take some of that oil and just brush your little canapé roast lamb cigar, and then we'll lay it onto a roasting tray like this. And we'll repeat this until this tray is racked out, and then you're going to basically bake this in the oven. And in that time it takes to cook that, we're going to knock up a beautiful little salsa verde and reheat a little bit of gravy, and the two things together should be incredible. So there you go. This is pure potential. You could put that in the fridge now if you wish, and when your guests come around, just bang them in the oven. They're going to go in at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit, for around about 20 minutes until golden, crisp, and delicious. In it goes. With this excess pastry, it's still good to go, right? So what I would normally do is just keep that wet cloth that is clean and just roll it up like this, and I just pop it back in the fridge for a day or two. So we have these crispy, gorgeous things celebrating beautiful roast lamb, and what I want to do is have something to dip it in. So if you're doing a nice little canapé, cocktail party, a little bit of a nibble, it's quite nice to be able to pick it up and dip it in something and get that kind of explosion of flavour. So what we're going to do is a lovely kind of riff on a salsa verde, slightly simpler. So we're going to take mint. It could be any green herbs, but traditionally it'll be parsley or mint, depending on what's in season. So I'll take those off of the stalk like that. Then we're going to use some capers. So a little bit salty. These are in brine. Just give them a little squeeze. I've got some anchovy here. So just a couple of anchovy fillets. I will use a little bit of lemon zest. And as we all know, garlic and lamb are very good friends. So we don't need loads, half a clove of garlic. You can chop the garlic, or you can actually just use that little grater. Can you see? Going in there like that. So now we can start chopping, and we'll chop the garlic, the capers, the anchovy first, and get it fairly fine, and then start chopping the mint. So when it's nice and finely chopped, let's get it into a little bowl. Fragrant mint and capers, just delicious. I'll steal some of that oil from the anchovy, and then I'll just use some olive oil just to loosen the herbs. Then we'll kind of break that with a little vinegar, just about a thimble, a couple of teaspoons. And what I want to do is add some mustard, just to give it a little bit of a creaminess, and a little more oil, just to loosen it. So you can see it's got a nice little drizzle to it. So I'm going to put the salsa verde here, like that. So I'm going to reheat some gravy, because I can't help myself. Just going to rinse it out with a little water. So I'll bring that gravy back to the boil. Kind of just to remind you, this is roast lamb with gravy, been canapéed into these beautiful little crispy cigars. So we're gonna take one of those, dip it in the gravy maybe, hit it up with a little salsa verde in the mouth, hopefully explosion, deliciousness, and happiness. Right, let's let those cook and then I'll show you how to serve. So, can it canapé? Yes, it can. With the help of salsa verde, some lovely gravy. So let's load these up. Just stack them erratically. The smell is amazing. So there you go, lovely people. Roast lamb phyllo cigars, golden crispy, with a lovely salsa verde dip. Actually, I'm salivating because the smell is so good. Gordon Bennett. So there you go. So salsa verde, hot gravy. Come on. If you want to just sort of get the colour vibes going, you could put a couple bits of mint over. It's always nice. There you go. Can it canapé? Yes, it can. Right, let's take one of our little cigars. Let's have a little dip up in the gravy. Oh, look at that. We've got the gravy. Let's hit this up with some salsa verde. Look at the colour. Oh my goodness. Mmm. It's so good. Mate, if you get some friends around. Oh my God, it's so good. Delicious. Get yourself some phyllo pastry, make a salsa verde, and celebrate your leftover roast dinners. Enjoy. It's that time of year when things are getting a little bit colder. It's raining, and I'm in my favourite kitchen of all. This is my mobile pub, as you do. I'm going to show you how to make a delicious sausage and squash chili con carne. Really simple to make, luscious to eat. The kids love it. You can do a big old batch of it as well. And it's perfect for when the weather starts closing in and it's getting colder. Great for things like bonfire night, parties. It's going to be a beautiful thing. I've got the oven on. I've got a pan on here, a nice little casserole pan. So first up, get a nice squash. Now, the skin actually is very delicious, but what I love about peeling it is it kind of allows the squash to soak up all those beautiful flavors. So once you've peeled it, just take the end off the squash. Remember, the squash is round, so obviously be careful when you're cutting it. And when it comes into slicing it like that, just like keep your hands out of the way and just gently angle it down like that. Don't put your weight on too much, nothing kind of erratic. Then we've got these little seeds here. So I'm gonna grab a little spoon and we can remove these seeds. Now these seeds you can save, you can dry, and you can plant out next year to grow more pumpkin, which is very, very cool. So I'm using a butternut squash. You can use any squash or dense pumpkin that you like. Just slice it into little kind of sort of 1.5, 2 centimetre chunks. So I've got the butternut squash done, then it's the sausages, look at that, 400 grams of beautiful sausages. Now what I want to do is just add a little bit of oil and I want to fry off these sausages. I want to pull them out into little meatballs. Going to get the sausage like that, pinch it with your hand like that, and it comes out like a rustic little ball. Very, very simple, straight in like that. The better the sausages, the better this dish will be. As soon as we got a little bit of colour happening here, what we can do is add some nice fragrant things, right? We want to get some spice happening. So half a little cinnamon stick like this, just snap it. That'll go in. That'll start toasting up in all that frying fat. I'll season generously with black pepper, which I like. Then I'm going to use 2 little spice hacks here. One is smoked paprika. The smoked paprika gives you that beautiful smoky flavour, like it's been cooked over a fire. Then I'm using a little Cajun spice. Now, these little kind of Cajun spices, jerk spices, rasa al hanout, curry powders, these are quite genius, right? Because they're little blends. So there's about like 8 or 10 spices in here. Oreganos, all the peppers, you know, garlic and onion powder. So I'm going to put 2 of these heaped teaspoons in. It's just delicious. It's going to give it real length, a really nice savoury spice that I absolutely love. Just toast that onto those lovely sausage meatballs. Look at that. That's properly rustic. And then I'm gonna just highlight a little product that I kind of rate. You can use onion, carrot, and celery. So the Italians would call that a sofrito. And this is a frozen product. So if you go to the supermarket, you get bags of frozen carrots, celery, onions. It's just a nice little hack. I really like supporting the frozen veg. I think it's genius. It's brilliant for like just taking handfuls, 2 handfuls, not wasting stuff. I think for busy people that want to cook lovely food, these little cheats are amazing. You know, it's not just about frozen peas. I want to use like 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. That's how you're going to get that really deep, comforting flavour. Nice little trick actually, using balsamic vinegar, a couple of tablespoons, right? If you think about the sweetness in the veg that we're dragging out, this will give it a nice little kind of tang, and it'll give it the most delicious depth of flavour and a gorgeous colour. Look at that. What I love about this dish is it's a family favourite. Everyone loves it. Like, you're using sausages, cheap as chips, you know, go for the best ones you can get. We're getting loads and loads of veggies into this dish. And also, it's like an amazing excuse to get more beans in, right? Because we expect to have beans in a chili con carne. So any beans you like, white beans, cannellini beans, veloute beans, butter beans, black-eyed peas, kidney beans, even chickpeas. So I'm gonna use a little bit of rosemary in here. Rosemary's a great herb, really good with butternut squash, sausage. It's a lovely savoury herb, so easy to grow. So just a couple of sprigs, just finely chop that. What I love about making casseroles, chili con carnes like this, is it's got a really nice flow. You add the sausage, you add the spices, you add the garlic and the veg, you know, it just gets more and more interesting as time goes on. Look at the colours, the orange and the green, and all the kind of gnarly bits of sausage. Absolutely beautiful. Now we go in with the wet stuff in the form of lovely tinned tomatoes and some lovely kidney beans. Use any beans you want. I'm using kidney and black beans. Go in juice and all. That little liquid is perfect for creating an amazing sauce. Then some lovely tomatoes. Gonna make it sweet and delicious. And look, if you wanted to do a veggie version of this or a vegan version of this, that's fine. Just pull out the meat. And I would sort of suggest using some fresh and dried mushrooms to get that umami, that depth of flavour. Just let it come to the boil. Give it a little season with salt and then pop it into the oven. Now, what's nice about popping it in the oven is it will continue to simmer and cook, so essentially stew, but from the top it's going to bake or roast. So we call that braising, right? That means you're going to get colour on here, you're going to get reduction of liquid, but concentration of flavour. It's going to be amazing. So I'm very happy with that. Let's get that in the oven now. Normal oven, 180 degrees Celsius, 350 Fahrenheit, and then I'll show you what to do next. So it's had an hour and a half, and it's just been blipping away. Have a little look at that. I mean, it's a real picture. So you can see how it's reduced down. Oh, it looks so comforting. So I want to give you a little tip on extra deliciousness, okay? It's a good one. Potato masher. So if you just go to one little side of the pan, just mash one side. Right, so what's that doing? This is breaking up some of the sausage, some of the beans, and some of that lovely butternut squash. Right, so just do it to about 1/3 of this pan. And what does it do? It gives you a creaminess, and it gives you a real smash of deliciousness and sort of unctuous flavour. So once we've finished doing that, we fold it through with all the chunks again. So that, I believe, is how you get really incredible texture. And, oh, it smells amazing. It smells amazing. This is when we have a little try. Oh, that was so good. A little extra virgin olive oil, not as an oil, but as a kind of ingredient, right? And you get that lovely, grassy, fresh flavour, and it gives it the most wonderful sheen. And on the floor is my little dog, Conker. He's got very wet. He's chilling out, but he's very excited about this sausage chili con carne. A little bit of balsamic. I know we put some in already, but that's cooked away. But just a little thimble of vinegar, any vinegar, can often lift a ragu. That's beautiful. I'm going to pop that back in the oven just for a little bit while I do the rice. We're going to go in with some rice. That same mug, like a typical kind of cup of tea mug, I'm going to fill this up twice. If you wanted to add some nice flavour, you know, you could take a little mixture of herbs, right? And just put that in there as well and get a lovely, lovely sort of fragrance and flavor to it. So this goes in and we'll boil that for 12 minutes. By that time, everything's gonna be perfect. Let's get some nice serving bowls. What should I do it in? Let's do it in that one. Looks really lovely. Let's have a little look at this rice. It's had about 12 minutes. It goes from boiling and then that noise stops. And that's when you normally know it's just lightly frying. So that's a good sign. So then we can take out the herb. That's the brilliant thing about herb, man. They've done their job. And just use a fork or a spoon or something just to fluff it up. Can you see how light and fluffy that is? Every time, a winner. So I like that method. Smells amazing. Let's just portion up a little bit. I love rice. You can see the little flecks of herb in there. Let's get our lovely chili out. Look at these beautiful chunks. So, chili con carne, but not as you know it. And then for me, just a lovely little bit of yogurt in there. Some pepper and just a little olive oil. You can finish that with a little soft herb like coriander if you want. For me, that is beautiful comfort food for this time of year when the weather's closing in. You get epic flavor in there and texture. It's delicious. Sausage chili con carne. Super simple. Like, get it all going. You can double the recipe, you can triple it. It's not like spicy chili spicy. Like, my little 7-year-old would have no trouble with that at all. It's very mild, it's very layered. There's lots of nice little surprises, but perfect for this time of year when things get a little bit miserable. But this is delicious.